You go to a buffet, and because you don't believe that that buffet is going to assert itself onto your plate and into your mouth, you don't feel freaked out about the stuff you don't want to eat. You just look around, pick what you want, and live happily ever after. But in the buffet of children behavior, it feels like their behavior could assert unhappiness into your experience, but it cannot. Only your rendezvous with the vibration keeps it coming. Don't you love knowing that?
Yes.
So later, your children will say, Esther says this about her parents, I do not know what their secret was. I felt loved, but I don't remember Daddy ever hugging me, patting me on the head once. But I felt loved. I felt secure, although I don't ever remember having a conversation about what that even is. I felt well-being. I felt inspired to help, but I don't ever remember a list of chores that I was supposed to do. I don't ever remember being held hostage about anything. I just remember wanting to be of value, wanting to help. Esther was 5 or 6 years old and wanted to mow the lawn, but she couldn't start the lawnmower. So her dad would start it, and then she would mow until it ran out of gas. And then she would bring it back to him, and he would start it again, fill it up, and then she would mow until it ran out of gas. Something so pleasing about being helpful in an environment where nobody's demanding help. Something so pleasant about discovering how much you can give in an environment where nobody's demanding you and calling you away from your source. Esther's been pondering for years why she lives so happily ever after as a child, and is only recently understanding it's because her parents were not standing in a place where they were needing her to behave so that they could be happy. They were not interested in her. Their life didn't revolve around her. They were really busy doing their thing. Now we know this is an environment that's different. Things have changed. In other words, Esther ran all over town on foot or on her bicycle. She didn't need her parents to tote her from place to place. She wasn't intruding on the freedom of their life experience as life sort of kind of has all of you doing today. Most parents are sacrificing so much of their personal time to take care of others. It's no wonder you get into a place of resentment. You can spend all day, every day just being a taxi service to where your children need to go. We get it that the conditions are not as conducive now as they might have been in simpler times to live happily ever after, but the laws of the universe are the same. And you have the ability to find a centered place where you can feel good regardless of what's going on. And when your children see you demonstrating that, they will begin to mimic it, because that will ultimately feel what's best to them, you see. Be inner being like. So your children say, why aren't you listening to me? And you say, because what you're saying is making me wobble. And they'll say, what do you mean? And you'll say, because I just love loving you so much. And if I listen to you, I'm getting mad. You're making me mad because I know that's not who you are. I know you're kind and you're not being kind. I know you love your sister or your brother and you're not loving your sister and your brother. So if I focus on that, I wobble and I don't want to wobble. Well, you're supposed to love us, which means you're supposed to pay attention to us. I do love you. That's why I'm not paying attention to you right now. I pay attention to you a lot, and sometimes I just go off and think about how much I love you. But sometimes you make it hard, and so I make it easy on myself because I want to love you all the time, which means when you're acting like that, I got to go someplace else to love you. And I want to love you more than anything in the world. So if that means I have to go where you're not or think about things that you're not doing, then I'm willing to do it because loving you means that much to me. That'll get their attention. When you're ornery about something, admit it. Don't cover it up with false words or face. Say to them, I'm not doing so good. I've got myself wobbling. Not you made me wobble. I've got myself wobbling. I gave my attention to things that are causing me to wobble. I'm going to go off for a little while and get the wobble out of what I'm doing, and when I feel better, I'll come back. Then go off and get the wobble out, and when you feel better, come back. There's nothing better for them to know. That's wobbly mother, that's not wobbly mother.
Yeah.
And pretty soon they'll catch on. And And the most important part is, don't make your wobble conditional on what they're doing. Make it always conditional on what you're doing. On what you're doing. You're in control of your wobble, you say. And then your children will say, want to come over to my house and play? Want to come over to my house and play? It's really cool at my house, because Mom ignores us. It feels really free over there. It feels free at my house. We get to do things that are fun. And the others will say, you've got a really cool mother. Esther remembers she had a friend, a cousin, her age. She loved to spend time with this girl. Her mother was different. Her mother had a long list of chores every Saturday. So Esther would say, can you play? And her friend would say, not until I get my chores done. How about you? And Esther would say, I'm done. I'll come and help you with yours. So Esther would go to help her friend with her chores so that they could play. But the chores never came to an end. The more they did, the more got put on the list. The more they did, the more got put on the list. The more they did, the more got put on the list. Esther learned really fast. They were not, so they would work for hours and then get to play for minutes, you see. That's not alignment. That's conditional privilege, you see. The universe is not assigning conditions to your privilege of freedom. It's all about a mindset, you see. So after a little while, Esther knew better than to spend her Saturday over there. It was a dead end. There was no way to get to the end of that, you see. You want to show your children that freedom is natural and that feeling good is natural. You want to get this tipped around so that you can really see it like it is. That unless you do that thing that you've learned to do that makes you not feel good, you're going to feel good. Hear that. Unless you hold the cork under the water, it's going to float. And if it's not floating, you're doing that thing you do. And you're the only one who can stop doing that thing you do. But you can't stop doing that thing you do cold turkey, because law of attraction's got you doing that thing that you've been doing, because you got a belief system, so you got to wean yourself from that thing you do. So how do you stop doing something that isn't serving you? By beginning to do something that does serve you. That's how you do it. You focus upon what does feel good, and after a while, you spend more airtime on what feels good and less airtime on what doesn't, until that's the atmosphere that you create around you, you see. And then you thrive. Then you live happily ever after. Then the path keeps showing up. Then you feel good all the time. Ooh, it feels so good to love your children, even when they are formerly not lovable.
Or threatening to move back to Ethiopia at age 5. Yeah, I know. It's true.
You find yourself, you feel amusement about it. You just feel loving amusement about it. When they're learning to walk and they fall down, you don't say, get up, you little dummy. You give them a chance to find their balance. And we're not saying, get up, you little dummy, to you either. We're saying, make it easy on yourself. Find a way to stay standing. Find a way to feel good. But you got to put yourself first. You've got to get stable before you have anything to offer anyone else.
Absolutely.
You've got to be stable before you have anything to offer anybody else. You've got to be stable. And it's easy to do once you know the basics. And you do. Is there any question about the basics? You get what you think about. Can you control what you think about? Maybe. I might be able to control what I think about better now than ever before. I might be able to leave the condition aside just a little bit and get to the vibrational heart of it, because everything that's bothering me has a vibrational acknowledgement that if I really think about it, I can do better for myself. Just don't stand at the bottom of the hill trying to stop the momentum. That's hard. That's really hard.
Thank you.
Yeah.